She is the award-winning national security border security investigative reporter for TV, radio, and the print media. Kimberly is also the senior foreign policy advisor for the Committee for Responsible Foreign Policy, TV correspondent C76 News San Diego, as well as One America News Network. And Kimberly, she streams live, let me tell you, on Periscope.com and Facebook.
Yep.
How are you, Kimberly?
I'm fine. How about yourself, Chuck?
I'm pretty good. I got one of these computers again today, you know, the spinning. And,
That's okay. We all have those days.
Hey, listen, before we get into all of our serious stuff real quick, Kimberly golfs all the time, so I'm sure you're probably, but I'm not sure, 50-50 on this. Happy for Tiger Woods?
Extraordinarily happy for Tiger Woods. Americans, if anything, Americans, we always root for the person who's down and out. We love a good redemption story, and Tiger proved over the weekend that he still has it for golf, and that putting an extraordinarily large amount of work for his game paid off. And you know, it's great to see it because this is what fans like. Tiger brings the fans to the golf course, and it was amazing to watch him play the last 4 days. Just amazing. Kudos to overcoming the odds and getting back out on that golf course and winning one of the biggest tournaments in the world of golf.
You know, and if you have back problems, I'll just touch on this real quick. You notice that when you're playing golf, and I got to ask you, you can't hire somebody to take the ball out of the cup once you make it. You got to bend over each time, 18 holes, whatever, reach down there and pick that ball up. Boy, when I watch it, my back hurts, Kimberly.
Well, there you go. That you narrowed golf down right there to that. Now, nobody's going to golf because they have to bend over and pick up the ball.
Oh, my goodness. All right, on some serious stuff here. It's amazing, you know, it's like a little baby banging on the high chair. I want it. You give it to him, and no, it's too sour. I don't like it. Which turns us to President Trump saying, "Hey, you guys want all these people? All right, we got to bring them in. We'll just put them in the sanctuary cities." And all of a sudden, but I like to bring up the fact, Kimberly, that you know, President Obama did it. Remember when he brought in all those people and dropped them off in Minnesota and Michigan? Yep.
And in parts of Massachusetts as well. So, I mean, the president, before leaving over the weekend, dropped to the world that he's considering, and it looks like they're leaning more and more towards this idea that they will be, because of the Flores ruling, they can only keep people in detention for 20 days, families, 20 days. So at the end of those 20 days, the President of the United States would like to bus or airplane these people to sanctuary cities, so these large cities that are primarily blue can take care of the migrants who are coming here because they are seeking a better life. Of course, when push comes to shove, now the Democrats come out. That's not really what they were thinking and what they were saying. And again, I'll say kudos to Trump for calling their bluff on this. And I guarantee you, if there's a GoFundMe account saying Americans donate and you can pay for these folks to get up to these sanctuary cities, I guarantee you it would be funded, probably within a week or so, fully funded.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I loved it. I just love the move he made. You know, you scream,
brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the other thing is that, you know, that all these cities are complaining, but before, here it is, they talk about illegal aliens. These are quotes, all right, from the people that say, you can't bring them into our city. They say, well, these illegal immigrants actually make our city better and safe.
Yep.
Remember when they were saying that?
Yeah. Well, again, this is kind of a push comes to shove. The cities, and in the case of California, of course, the entire state, and I believe New York could be also a new sanctuary state as well, a few others. But these people, you know, advocated that it was okay for these people to stay in their state or in their principalities and not have to worry about police intervention here, that they were not going to be threatened or deported. So, and what they were doing in essence is they were flouting a federal law that's on the books saying that they need to cooperate with the federal government. So when it looks like it's going to work in their favor, they do this, but now that Trump calls them, they don't want it.
Absolutely. Hold it right there. Kimberly Dvorak streaming live at Facebook.com, also Periscope.com, and the website is thekdreport.com, also theamericanconservative.com. We'll be right back while we're with my guest, Kimberly Dvorak, Senior Foreign Policy Advisor for the Committee for Responsible Foreign Policy. So interesting. Be careful what you ask for, because here they've been stopping and, oh, yes, and the sanctuary cities, come on in, one and all. There's so many reasons, that when you have this huge influx, it's a positive for the Democrats because, they're going to be counted in the census, more federal money.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and traditionally these new, or the Democrats at least, are hoping that they will in turn show up at the voting boxes and vote for Democrats the rest of their lives. Of course, illegal aliens cannot vote in federal elections. Shouldn't even be a case here. The case here is for the American people and the American workers who are not being taken care of. Our highways, our hospitals, our education system, we're bust. I mean, we need to fix up our country. We don't have money to take care of Central America, for example. And you've got people coming in this country lawfully that are, wondering, why did I go through the legal process and pay the money, go through the health, test so I could get here legally, when these people are hopping across the border, turning themselves in, and then all of a sudden, yay, they're finding themselves in America for the rest of their lives.
And of course, as they say, they will be dependent strictly on the government.
Yeah.
That's almost like socialism, isn't it?
That is. And just for an example, this year alone, so the first 3 months, so January, February, March, the immigration offices have put out that there are 17,900 migrants, 17,900 migrants who have failed to show up for their court date this first 3 months of this year. So already we're seeing 18,000 not going. So they're saying, well, give us a pass. We'll come back to court. You and I both now, most of the listeners here know as well, that they are never coming back. And if they do, they approximately 89 to 94 don't qualify for asylum, and then they get deported back. So, we're seeing the numbers up front, and it's something that really is a crisis for our country, because what they know, they have numbers. They're just plowing down this, in southern Mexico over their border over the weekend. They plowed over, just pushed the fence down and walked right over Mexican police. That's breaking and entering in most countries. Apparently in this country, we're going to reward you with, free healthcare, education, housing, and whatever you may need as you grow old in this country.
Yeah, in a moment we'll get to a decision, and it's concerning the Ninth Circuit Court.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this before we get into that. There's this old saying about be careful what you ask for. You've heard that before.
Yeah.
Do you think that this was just a marketing ploy for the base, or has President Trump outwitted his critics once again?
Well, this is, I believe, and I don't have firsthand knowledge of what the president was thinking. Wish I did. But people inside Department of Homeland Security and people who are bureaucrats are stating that, this was going to cause a lot of trouble for the president, trouble he didn't need, that it was likely that it would be illegal for the president to, implement this type of plan and get these, migrants, off the border and into sanctuary cities. However, you have every Democrat on TV and every liberal mainstream media outlet saying, this is illegal, it's illegal. But have you heard one of these people say, because you look at section 0.08316 of the code, this states that illegals cannot be shipped to sanctuary. There is no law stating the president cannot do what he is proposing to do. He's calling their bluff. And he's trying, I mean, he's desperate at this point because the border has become such a wreck. He's figuring now that he's going to say, we're just going to dump these people in Los Angeles and Hollywood. And now you've got Hollywood star Cher saying, whoa, wait a minute, we don't want them. We can't take care of them here. So somebody always ends up having to pay. And in this case, it's the taxpayer that will pay for the added burden, because the majority of these people are not coming where they graduated college somewhere and they have top rate, IT skills that this country needs. That's simply not the case. These are people that will be working. Most likely, a lot of them don't even have like a 6th grade education on top of all of that. So we're looking at people that are going to take from the system rather than put into the system.
I was reading almost word for word what you just said there. The truth is, illegal immigrants are a net drain on society. They are not people with PhDs and piles of seed money looking to create the next great startup.
Yep.
They're largely people who can't speak English, with little to no education, many illiterate in their native language.
Yeah.
They will become the servant class for the liberal elite and their wealthy donors.
Yeah.
But more importantly, as I said a while ago, to the left, they will be dependent on the government.
Yeah.
And, isn't it amazing how if we would just obey the laws on the books, we wouldn't be going through any of this? But
absolutely.
All of a sudden, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, absolutely. And Sarah, the president's spokesperson, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, came out on Sunday and said, look, that the president, and I'm going to read this, quote, the president's actually trying to enforce laws, not go around them. We're a country of laws, and we have a president who supports that and is not asking anybody to do anything outside those bounds. Now, on the Sunday talk shows and in Friday afternoon, while they were wrapping the news up about this, a lot of these people kind of came out and said that, look, until the president comes up with a new policy, he can't just simply make statements, and it's irresponsible to go to Twitter and make these statements. Well, I've got a fact here for these Democrats that are on TV railing against the president. The president enforces the law. He doesn't make the laws. Congress, which would be Nadler and Adam Schiff and that entire crew, those people are the ones that actually make the law. So maybe they want to step away from the microphones and actually make the law that they would like, pass it through Congress so the president can sign this. The president is following the law, much like Joe Arpaio, which is I've talked about numerous times here. He followed the law in Arizona, and he told lawmakers, you want to change the law, I'll follow that new law. But as it sits, I'm following the law in this state and federal law in the country. So, this is where the disconnect is.
And Obama and Eric Holder said, we're going to stop that, Sheriff. And they succeeded. George Soros helped get him voted out of there.
Yeah.
See, back in 1952, listeners, Truman, all right, pushed the Federal Immigration National Act, 1952, went through Congress. It's in the law. It's Section 8 USC 1324. And think about this. President Trump is trying to follow this law. But see, this is an extreme law. Wow.
Yeah.
Listen to this. But this is the one they're breaking. Any U.S. citizen that knowingly assists an illegal alien, provides them with employment, food, water, or shelter, how cruel, has committed a felony. City, county, or state officials that declare their jurisdictions to be open cities, counties, or states are subject to arrest, as are law enforcement agencies who choose not to enforce this law.
Yeah.
It's on the books.
It's on the books. Again,
President Trump is following it.
And he's tried over the past 18 months to work with Republicans and Democrats to move this immigration situation forward. He promised that he was going to grant more DACA recipients their green cards. 2 million, I believe, was the number, and the Democrats went, no, we want more than that now, but they were seeking 1 million before. So you're saying this is basically being a political football, and the American people, they see this. You cannot see the pictures of what's going on at that border right now and say that this is not right. I mean, parents and young people that are going to schools, they're seeing the effects of this. The cities and states, most everyone is operating in the red, including the federal government. So people are recognizing that they can't run their lives that way. How can the federal government run its life that way? And when it comes down to it, once we start calling the bluff, or once the president starts calling the bluff and sending these illegals into, let's say, Los Angeles County, what do you think the schools are going to be like there? How do you think is that not going to disrupt the schools in Los Angeles County if they send 10,000 new children to their school? I mean, of course it's going to have a major effect. And now I think that you're seeing some of the Democrats, some of the blue dogs in the middle actually backing up for it, go, wait a minute, this may not be a great idea. But I just, something has to be done, and something has to be done to show that these people coming up and tearing down Mexico's border and making their way to the United States, that there are consequences for what they're doing. And consequences are not a green card with a job and free health insurance. That's not the consequence. That's the magnet, and they know they're coming up and do it. We know 17,900 who were taken into custody in the first 3 months have not showed up for their court date. So now we have 17,900 fugitives running around our country.
Yeah. And as white people have said, that English is the language that, what is it? The glue, that's it. Yeah, the glue that holds this nation together.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, when you hear about all the different languages spoken, just like in the Los Angeles schools, Denver surprised me. I get a guy named Frosty Woolridge comes on quite a bit, and I mean 100 and something different languages just in, the city of in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
so then they have problems down here. The class size.
Yeah.
And all the languages being spoken, and here you have the union saying, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of it. And give us 4 more years."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, can we get some more union members?
Yeah. Well, I think that there is a way forward with this. I mean, I really believe that there's a way forward for this. And I think the first thing that needs to happen is we don't need to be building any fixed structures down along the border. We can put up a whole bunch of different tents, kind of like refugees stay at when they're in other countries around the globe. We can ensure that we get more judges and asylum people, get lawyers down to the border so they can adjudicate some of these cases and turn around these migrants that are trying to say they're coming for political asylum. If they don't qualify, then we could turn around and send them back home without releasing them to the interior of this border. And also, we've got a lot of people inside the United States that are overstayed on visas. ICE tends to know where quite a few of these people are. And I'm thinking that, we're going to hear any day now that the administration is going to, allow the ICE officials to go out and find these people that were slated for deportation and actually deport them and start this slow process of evicting people out, forcing them to get into line and prove their case in a lawful manner, just like the other millions and millions of immigrants who've come to this country have before that. I mean, it's just, we are lawless, and the fact that we catch and release these people is not going to stop the flow of these migrants from El Salvador. Honduras and Guatemala are the primary, but you're going to start seeing them from Nicaragua and Costa Rica. You're going to see them come from all these other countries if they see how successful this is. And America just can't afford it. I mean, to think that we're going to allow more than 2 million people into this country this year, 2 million, if you count the people that are coming with the migrants, because they said more than 1 million of them are going to be here within a year. So on top of the 1.5 we do lawfully, now we're going to have 2 to 2.5 million people per year coming to the country. The country can't withstand that. We don't have the housing for that.
Are you adding in all the visas also on that?
No, I'm not adding on the visas. I'm just saying the people that are actually crossing the border seeking asylum. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, let's talk real quick about this challenge in the Ninth Circuit Court. Finally, we got a good one. That's the worst court in the world.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of ludicrous to think that one district court judge sitting on the Ninth Circuit could actually tell the President of the United States that when people come through and apply for asylum, that the President's administration cannot ask the asylum seekers to stay in Mexico while their claims are processed, especially when Mexico has said that they will allow them to stay in their country and give them the opportunity to work in that country. So the Ninth Circuit, of course, really wants to, get out there and really go after the president on this. And this is something where it was migrants filed it, and these folks on Friday were told that the courts did not have could not withstand an appeal at this time, and that the migrants would have to wait in Mexico.
A moment ago, and we're coming up on that break, you were talking about ICE, and it's amazing how the left, turns things the wrong way.
Yeah.
ICE, that's a dirty word, and you let one judge do this and do that. But I think you're the one that suggested, the Immigration Customs Enforcement.
Yeah.
That I think you're the one that said, let's call it the National Immigration Customs Enforcement, and then it would be nice.
Yeah.
And boy, they would be upset about that. Were you the one that came up with that as we go into this break?
We may have.
I'll give you the credit.
Okay.
Right? But luckily, Kimberly Dvorak, the wise, intelligent Kimberly Dvorak, will be back and wrap things up. And we've got a police car scandal. I got to tell you, I hadn't heard about this till Kimberly gave me a heads up on it. But Laguna Beach, California.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you. Boy, you talk about carrying this far. And I'm going to tell you, listener, when you make sure you Google this so you can see this beautiful police car. And it's not overdone either. Tell the story about this one. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I picked up on this because I used to live in Laguna Beach on Mermaid Street, by the way, which is in downtown area. Laguna Beach Police Department decided that they were going to put up some new logos on their police vehicles. And on 9 of their cruisers, they put police on the side, and inside the lettering were the, like the stars, the stripes of the American flag. And they were in pretty bold red, white, and blue colors. But it made the trucks kind of stand out, and it was obviously a pretty patriotic type situation. However, Laguna Beach, being as liberal as it is, it takes 1 or 2 people to come out and say, we don't like this, you're a racist, this brings down our country. How the American flag can bring down our country, I'm not quite certain, but they are calling on the city council to waste more time and money and make the police department take off those logos that are on the side of their vehicles now. A lot of the people, law enforcement, say that they've been getting a lot of compliments from residents in the area. So again, this is a handful of people who want to just do anything anti-Trump, anything anti-America. This is the latest episode. Pretty hysterical when a police car can't have an American flag on it. Pretty hysterical.
Yeah. And it's beautiful, you've got the blue and you got the red.
Yeah, right? It's pretty. I mean,
you can't complain.
Unbelievable.
Let me tell this one here. This is just something else. This is from the wise Councilman Peter Blake, B-L-A-K-E, Peter Blake. Okay, what? I said his name is Peter Blake. Yes, Laguna Beach. He says, people are screaming that the American flag on a police car somehow or another. It's hurting people's feelings who might be immigrants or visitors. That's from the councilman. Hurting their feelings.
Yeah.
The police, oh my, we've gone too far.
They're people too, I guess, so we can't be haters.
You know what it is? As Chuck Wilder constantly says, they just can't get over the fact that Hillary lost.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, I don't think we'd be hearing this in Laguna if Hillary was sitting in the White House.
Yeah, I love Laguna. I used to go down at the Laguna Beach. What in the world is that called? Anyway, it's beautiful. Hotel right there, and the
Yep.
rooms are hanging on the side of the cliff, and indoor pool, and
Beautiful, beautiful, yeah. But it's changed a lot because now there's all kinds of, it's a big yuppie area now. So, but anyways, beautiful city. Unfortunately, their politics, I think they're a little bit off on this one. And I don't think the police are going to back down from it. And the sergeant said he wasn't going to back down. He wasn't going to take the logos off. So good for him, and go America.
Councilman Peter Blake, remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that. Hey, where's the best site to read all of your latest stuff there and keep up to date, Kimberly?
kdreport.com. Go to my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, Periscope, Twitter. All my links will be up on those sites, and I will have another story out about the latest border issue here that President Trump has created here for us journalists to cover. Never a dull moment.